You're listening to the Acadiana's Morning News Podcast, brought to you by LABI and always on KPEL965.com.
Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Gifting Grace Project, Hope for Homeless Children, is looking for assistance to provide gifts for school children whose parents or guardians are considered homeless. You can donate money or toys. Please help children this holiday season by going to giftinggraceproject.com for all the details. The 13th annual Professional Career Reception is set for Wednesday, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton on Pinhook Road in Lafayette. The event is hosted by the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, UL Lafayette, and other organizations. You can get the complete list of all the employers that will be at the job fair by calling 337-482-1444. See you at the Hilton in Lafayette, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios, online at matthewjames.com.
Hostage families are hoping their loved ones are freed today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, for a fourth day in a row, including Al Benamy. Her cousin's teenage son is among those Hamas kidnapped last month in front of his family.
His mom said to him, Amit, be strong. We will get you out of there.
But there's been a dispute between Israel and Hamas about the list of hostages to be released today. There were 9 children among the third set of hostages released yesterday, sent to a children's hospital in Israel where Fox's Trey Yingst is.
Additionally, 2 mothers flown here as well. We spoke with the grandmother who had 3 of her grandchildren here released last night from Gaza. And she said the kids were just being kids. They were laughing and playing. They wanted to eat pizza. And we know among that group, 4-year-old Abigail Idan, an American-Israeli citizen. Both of her parents were tragically killed.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says,
The little girl, Abigail, what a joy to see her with us.
He spoke with President Biden, who's pushing for that ceasefire to be extended beyond today. Israel has said it to do that for 10 more hostages freed per day. The man facing charges in the shooting of 3 men of Palestinian descent in Burlington, Vermont, is due in court today.
Police say they took 48-year-old Jason Eaton into custody Sunday afternoon. We're told the students were shot while walking along a street Saturday night. One of them is in serious condition. Police are investigating the shooting as a potential hate crime.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. In a few hours, kids will be getting up to go to school in Portland, Oregon for the first time all month, after teachers reached a tentative deal last night to end a strike that started November 1st. It's Cyber Monday, expected to be the biggest online shopping day, even bigger than Black Friday.
The phrase first coined in a 2005 press release from the National Retail Federation, which noted stores were seeing an increase in online sales on the day. Also revealing consumers at the time had faster internet at work than at home. Men were getting some virtual shopping done during the workday.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, Christmas will be here before we know it. If you're looking for a really special gift, I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, you start by going to their website, henryusa.com, order their free holiday gift guide, and they'll mail it with free decals that you can use for stocking stuffers. Perfect timing. Folks, when you give someone a Henry, you're giving them a work of art that is built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen as a collector. Now, their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate, all of them, right out of the box. They shoot smooth and straight, and they have been reliable ever since. They have over 200 models of rifles and shotguns and revolvers to choose from. One of the things I like the most about these firearms, they're family heirlooms. They'll always be backed by the company's lifetime warranty. So if you want to put something that's made in America under the tree this Christmas, henryusa.com. Get their free gift guide and their decals today. That's henryusa.com. You will love this company.
Well, as part of this hostage and ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, hundreds more trucks of humanitarian aid have been sent into Gaza to help Palestinians caught in the crossfire.
Reports from the war-torn region where Israel and Hamas are fighting show that people, mainly children, are suffering from malnutrition and other illnesses that can be deadly. Cindy McCain, director of the World Food Program, said on CBS Face the Nation, to save the region from famine,
we need more trucks in, we need more aid in, we need to be able to have more access to be able to distribute the aid. And, hopefully maybe a longer time to do that, not just 4 days.
McCain says about 110,000 people have been fed during this pause, but a lot more are in need. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Well, this is the first of 3 days of goodbyes for First Lady Rosalynn Carter, the former First Lady in Georgia.
The President, First Lady, Vice President, and Second Gentleman are all expected to attend a tribute service for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter tomorrow. Carter will lie in repose today at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library. A private funeral and burial are scheduled for Wednesday.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Rosalynn Carter died at age 96. On Wall Street, stock futures down modestly before this week's trading. In the NFL, the team with the best record rallied to win again.
Hurts to the end zone, and the Eagles have won it in overtime.
Philadelphia beat Buffalo 37-34 on CBS to improve to 10-1 atop the NFC. The Baltimore Ravens beat the LA Chargers last night 20-10 to improve to 9-3, the best record in the AFC. Two other division leaders won. Jacksonville beat Houston 24-21. Kansas City topped Las Vegas 31-17. Atlanta forced a tie atop the NFC South, beating New Orleans 24-15. The Denver Broncos won their fifth straight game 29-12 over Cleveland. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati. Indianapolis, the LA Rams, Tennessee, the New York Giants also won. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barry was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donelon says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a 1-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. Lafayette Consolidated Government says you should not call Republic directly. Local animal shelters will be participating in the Bissell Empty the Shelters Holiday Hope program December 1st through the 17th. The reduced fee adoption event allows adopters to take home a vaccinated, microchipped, and spay-or-neutered pet for $50 or less. We have listed the participating Acadiana shelters on our website and on the KPEL app. You may pay a bit more for a fresh Christmas tree this year, but the LSU Ag Center says there are enough to go around. The drought this summer affected some crops, but growers were able to irrigate to minimize loss. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the third player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees. And a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
And taking a look at what's happening on the roadways right now. We don't have any crashes that we know of at this point, although we are getting some reports about something on I-10. So going to continue to look that up and see what is potentially happening there. We'll have that information for you very shortly. But school zones are going back into effect this week, so please be mindful of them and look out for those school buses, and please be safe out there. Again, looks like the latest what we had on I-10, we had some congestion a few hours ago, but we are being reported that's cleared. So it looks like a report that's up right now on the traffic website. Going to see if we can make sure that that is truly cleared, if that's not something new.
Everybody's pets.
Good morning and welcome into Acadiana's Morning News. Brandon Como and Tracy Wertz here with you today.
Good morning and welcome back.
Yes, we back. It feels like forever. Having that Thanksgiving holiday, only out really the Thursday and the Friday. Of course, I was out the Wednesday as well, but feels like forever since we've been here in the studio.
Yeah.
Getting to do the show together. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was fantastic, and I ate too much, of course. I saw a post on Facebook yesterday that says, doggone it, I forgot I even had a job, and now I have to go back to work tomorrow.
That is how that feels for a lot of people. And so, we had a good one as well, and I don't feel like I ate too much, which was a good thing.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'm guilty. I ate all the things.
Yes.
All the things.
Yes, absolutely. And so good to hear that you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did.
And we're all back in and trying to get back in the groove during the holiday season, which for many of us, we've got vacations coming up. And so it's going to be a weird, next month or so before we start the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's always that way, I think, for most companies right at the end of the year where people are trying to burn off those PTO days that they'll lose on the first. And, just in general, taking time off from the holidays or taking time off at the holidays to get ready for Christmas or to, whatever the case may be. But, so we'll be playing Shuffle the DJs between now and the end of the year.
Yes, we will. All right, so today is Cyber Monday. We're talking about that. The news was talking about that not too long ago. Of course, I feel like Cyber Monday is like Black Friday. It's really extended.
No, it is.
Especially the cyber part. I feel like that's been extended to just about every day of the year now.
Yes. But, today you might find extra savings that you typically would not.
Yes, absolutely. Today is also talking about food, National Craft Jerky Day. Are you a big beef jerky fan?
I do like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't eat it often, but I do like it very much.
Yes, so today is National Craft Jerky Day. Also, today is National Bavarian Cream Pie Day.
Oh, man. As if we needed more food today.
No, I know, huh? But I've never had a Bavarian cream pie before.
Me either, but I love Bavarian cream, and a lot of King cakes
Yes.
are stuffed with the Bavarian cream.
Yes, they are. So National Bavarian Cream Pie Day. That sounds very good.
It's the 331st day of 2023. You ready for this?
Okay.
There are only 34 days
Wow.
left in the year.
Man.
That's, I got in this morning and saw we were under 40, and I don't know why that shocked me so much, but it did. On this date in 1870, the New York Times dubbed baseball the national game. On this date in 1901, the U.S. Army War College was established in Washington, D.C. On this date in 1924, Macy's first Thanksgiving Day parade, billed as a Christmas parade, took place in New York. Did you watch it on Thanksgiving?
I did not.
I haven't watched it every year.
Yeah.
But I was in the kitchen by myself. My husband was outside because we smoked the turkey on the pit. And so I turned it on. I thought, okay, I forgot how wonderful that parade is. But also, but wait, there's more.
Okay.
Cher performed.
Really?
Yes, right at the end of the parade, right before Santa Claus came rolling down the streets of New York City. I think it's Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
But
how'd she do?
no, or maybe it was 34th Street. Anyway, it was in New York City.
Yeah.
She did a great job. She has a new Christmas album out, and she sang one of the new Christmas songs from the album. It was pretty good, I have to say.
What'd she sing? Do you remember?
It was a new Christmas song that she has.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's part of her Christmas album. It's DJ Play That Christmas Song. Anyway, very dancey and kind of poppy, but fun.
Yeah.
It was well produced.
Very
it was
cool.
interesting to see the bands from across the country, the high school or college or whatever bands across the country. And the floats themed as certain things. A lot of, and I don't know if this has been historically, because I honestly haven't watched it in a few years.
Yeah. Me
But
neither.
there were a few floats that represented like movies that are coming out. Like there's a new movie called Wonka.
Yes, I saw the preview
about
for that.
the early days of Willy Wonka.
That looks interesting.
It does.
Yeah,
I think it would be good to see. Wouldn't have known about it. And so there was a float decorated in that Wonka theme,
That's
which was
cool.
absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
It was truly a pleasure to watch.
And they didn't have any Louisiana themed floats this year.
They did.
Huh?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. A Louisiana themed float went up there. There's a story on our website, and I think you can see the picture of it. But I joined a little late, so I'm sure that had rolled already.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but there absolutely was.
and the reason
or maybe it was the Rose. Maybe it's the Rose Parade. Okay, I might be talking.
It
out
must
of
be the
turn.
Rose Parade, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure we've had one, maybe in Macy's, but I didn't hear any kind of a buildup. That's why I was wondering. Yeah,
yeah, it's one. Well, and there's a story on our website about it, and it was a float representative of the state, obviously, and all I remember seeing is like a big alligator shape.
Yes,
and it, you know what? It may have been the Rose Parade.
Yeah.
So I apologize for talking out of turn.
No, that's okay. No, it's easy to. They all start running together when you start talking about the holidays.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
On this date in 1962, the first Boeing 727 rolled out. On this date in 2003, President George W. Bush flew to Iraq under extraordinary secrecy and security to spend Thanksgiving with U.S. troops and thank them for defending the American people from danger. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember the post coverage. And finally, on this date in 2013, do you want to build a snowman? Frozen, the highest grossing animated film of all time, starring Idina Menzel, who is, oh my gosh, just love Idina Menzel. And Kristen Bell was released.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's-
let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
My daughter has not gotten into that yet. I'm curious as to when that's going to happen because I feel like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, you got to put it on and show.
Yes.
And truth, in full disclosure, I didn't watch it from start to finish for a number of years. My granddaughter loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And she would come to the house and we'd put it on, but I would just see snippets, because
Yeah.
she'd watch the movie and
Of
I would
course.
drift around or whatever. So I finally sat down and watched it one day, and it was
Was that good?
Yeah, you need to show it to your daughter.
Well, good. We've got it. We got the little Disney Plus, so I'm gonna have to pull that up and see if I can get her into it right now.
Yeah, I think all parents have the Disney. Even I have the Disney Plus. The current selection is Mickey Mouse anything.
Hey, nothing wrong with Mickey. I like Mickey Mouse.
Well, it is November the 27th. KPEL News Time 621.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Gifting Grace Project, Hope for Homeless Children, is looking for assistance to provide gifts for school children whose parents or guardians are considered homeless. You can donate money or toys. Please help children this holiday season by going to giftinggraceproject.com for all the details. The 13th annual Professional Career Reception is set for Wednesday, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton on Pinhook Road in Lafayette. The event is hosted by the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, UL Lafayette, and other organizations. You can get the complete list of all the employers that will be at the job fair by calling 337-482-1444. See you at the Hilton in Lafayette, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com.
KPEL News Time is coming up on 6:26, and we're still talking trash, especially coming off of the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'll tell you this, Tracy, for us, we had like this massive line of trash
Because you hosted.
because we hosted, and so I was like, please pick it all up, and they did, and it was tremendous. But there are still some trash issues that we do need to discuss.
Yeah, well, you have the adjusted schedule for the holiday. But the thing we want to address today is if your blue cart has not been picked up yet, or your Republic carts, then you need to call 311. Do not call Republic directly. Got a message from LCG last week, and I believe that they've picked up the majority of them, if not close to all of them. But we got a message on the KPEL app probably midweek last week about what do I do? I still have my Republic cart. And again, LCG said call 311. Do not call Republic directly, because what I'm thinking is, and this is complete speculation, is the Republic contract's over.
Yes.
So, they really have no obligation at this point to pick up those carts that weren't picked up until that point.
Although you would think they would want it, though. Those carts are valuable.
Well, and they may have worked something out with the city where, I don't know who picks it up, but if you call 311, that is at LCG. They will make arrangements to go and get, you may have a recycling cart, you may have a garbage cart, whatever, but if it's not been picked up, then make sure you call 311 to go ahead and schedule that.
Yeah, no, that's good information to know, especially for people that, we've been doing this trash thing now for over a month, about a month and a half.
Well, yeah, because the changeover from one provider to the other happened, I think, on October 30th.
You're
It was a
right.
Monday.
Yeah.
But before that,
I was leading up.
we were starting to tell folks what to expect. That's when AWS was starting to distribute their black and red cards, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Also, that brings up another point. If you need another cart from Acadiana Waste Services, you need to give them a call and order that. If you need a recycling cart, you can get one of those. But if you just need an extra garbage cart, then that's going to be a $90 rental fee. So just be aware that will be a charge that they'll charge you $90.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: like having to deal with AWS has been really great so far. I remember I pretty much put them to the test in the first week.
Really?
Where I put out a lot of things to the road, organized it, but a lot of tree branches to cut, had some old things to get rid of, like those bulky items, if you will. And they did a great job picking it all up. And so, they've been great to deal with so far. Hopefully, more people have more experiences like that where they're, getting the trash pickup that they need. But it's just been a long process, but it's what I didn't expect anything less considering you got two companies, one on the way out and one on the way in.
Yeah.
And there's thousands and thousands of people and carts to deal with.
130,000 is what Bess told us. Bess Foray told us that there were 130,000 carts. And I think Mark said, I can't remember if it's 60 or 70,000 households. And you figure all those households, or the majority, would have a garbage and a recycling cart if they do that. And some are going to have two. So, yeah, that's a lot. I mean, think about that. 130,000.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
That's an overwhelming number.
Yeah.
That's an overwhelming number. So, again, like you were just saying, call 311 if you still have your Republic card.
Right. And they will make arrangements to pick it up.
The loudest voices on the biggest issues impacting your life.
Hi, hello, welcome to the Gafon Show.
Continuing the long tradition of informing you in Acadiana. News Talk 96.5, KPEL. Depend on it.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Find out more about how they can help you at MatthewJames.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barry was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donelon says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a 1-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the 3rd player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees. and a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
And taking a look at what's happening on the roadways right now, we do have a crash on Johnston Street. This is Johnston, not far from its intersection with South City Parkway, right by the library. Also, we have the crash Evangeline Thruway at Tissington. That's Evangeline Thruway at Tissington.
I'm dreaming of a Smoky Mountain Christmas with the kids around the fireplace stringing popcorn for the tree.
All right, KPEL News Time is 6:37. It is 38 degrees under clear skies. You know, it just felt like it was starting to get warm again, and then now the temperatures just dropped right back down on us.
Yeah, a typical Louisiana fall, winter, whatever you want to call it. And that was Dolly Parton taking us in, and we can talk about this later. But let me tell you what, I didn't see her performance during the Dallas Cowboys game.
Yeah.
But I did see the pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if she pays to look that good, but I don't care. She's 77.
I know.
And holy cow.
Yeah. No,
holy cow.
She was the talk, man, and it's she don't look 77. We'll say it like that. We'll say it like that.
No.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah, amen.
Good for her.
You rock it.
So Christmas lights. Have y'all put them up yet?
We didn't do any outside because we're trying to repaint the house, or that's what's anyway. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day.
Yeah,
but I did put out my trees, and they were out before Thanksgiving.
No, I remember you told me that, and we were talking about doing the tree or the trees over the weekend, and that ended up not happening. So we're going to do it next weekend. Last night, I'm over at one of our friends' house for a few minutes, and we look out across the road to one of our neighbors, and they're putting out Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And it's like 8:30 at night. The wind is starting to really come in.
You're
and
brave,
I'm like, no. And then a couple hours later, I look back outside as I'm locking up, and they're still out there putting out lights. Really? And I'm like, oh, no, 2 hours of being out in that cold weather? That doesn't sound like fun to me.
No, that would not be something that would be fun. But, you know, everything, I say everything. There are still things I'm finding that I need to put out.
Yeah.
But, you know, the two trees, I have my little skinny Charlie Brown tree that, you know, this year, it's been up for a couple years.
Okay.
I mean, I took it down.
Yeah.
I've used it for a couple years. But it kind of looks pitiful this year. Yeah, it's a little bitty skinny.
Yeah.
And then I have the shorter tree. And then, of course, I have a gazillion nativity sets, scenes, you know. So those are, anyway, there was a time when the number of decorations around my house was obnoxious. It really was. And they're still in the cabinet, and I'll pull one out, you know, every now and then and just kind of put it around. I for a little while, and I'm going to use the term loosely, I collected nutcrackers, but I didn't go like crazy with 50 of them. I probably have 5 or 6. So I don't know if I would be qualified or classified as a collector.
I'm trying to remember if it's nutcrackers. I think that they were having a conversation that Joe collects.
Really?
Yeah.
Joe Cunningham, who was all bah humbug.
I don't know if it's nutcrackers or it's some other item, but someone else was talking about nutcrackers that they collect, and he was talking about what he collects. But yeah.
We'll have to ask him. Yeah, because he was, you know, he was running a hard campaign before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Don't put up decoration. He was like, but given the you missed the Thanksgiving shirt.
Oh, God, on Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Joe
that
likes
man's got
Thanksgiving.
an interesting collection of shirts.
Yeah, this one was great, by the way. But on our Facebook page, we have a question, and actually would like for you to share a picture of your Christmas tree. If it's up, if your interior decorations are up, please share some pictures with us. That's always fun. Maybe give folks an idea. Or just put your hard work on display.
Yeah.
Now, if you did, as your neighbor did, decorate the exterior of your house, it could be worth $500.
Yes, absolutely. So all you got to do is light up Acadiana. Okay, so it's a great promotion that we have going on. If you go onto the KPEL News app and you click on where it has light up, you can just basically go in, submit your picture of your home lit up with all kinds of Christmas lights and however you do your thing, and submit that picture, and you can win $500. And it really is just that easy. And you get the opportunity when you're on the KPEL News app, you can see other people's submissions under the light up.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I saw, and if anybody knows this family in Lake Arthur, then please let them know. I was scrolling through Facebook yesterday and came across a page that was like Lejeune's House of Lights. And it's a Facebook page that they created because they go like whole hog. So yeah, it's interesting. And you know, this, if you upload your pictures to the KPEL app, it's a one-stop shop.
Yes.
You know,
it really is. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, as a matter of fact. I mean, you just go in there and it brings you right to where you need to go to submit your photo.
Okay.
I mean, it's very easy.
So download the KPEL app, go check out the photos that are there now, and make sure that you upload yours too. Again, $500 just for a click.
Yep, absolutely.
Holiday gifts this year is time travel back almost 50 years to 1977. When we think of hot new video games, we think of today's gamers, Gen Zers to Gen Xers. But if you were 7 to 13 back in 1977, you might remember the hottest gift ever, the Atari 2600 video game system. Plug-in cartridges with Missile Command, Space Invaders, and Asteroids. As a company, Atari doesn't really exist anymore, but those in charge of the name are banking on a wave of nostalgia as they once again market this famous game system. All old game cartridges work, and the new system comes with 10 popular games on a single cartridge. It's also updated with HDMI cables to work with today's screens. It's a bargain, less than $120. You could win a brand new iPhone 15 valued at $799. Enter to win right now at komando.com/win.
.38 degrees. KPEL News Time is 6:45. All right, so one cool thing that's happening right now, you know, we all know the name Bissell, and we all know that the how much Bissell cares about animals and pets. And so right now, you know, they're really about to embark on a promotion over the first half of December to find pets great homes.
Yeah, and they're leaning in to shelters across the country. And there are actually at least four here in Acadiana that are participating. And what Bissell does is let's see, I want to make sure that I get this. You can adopt a pet for $50 or less from any of these rescue/shelters. Because they will subsidize that amount. Now, the animals from these particular shelters that they partner with are fully vaccinated, they're microchipped and spayed or neutered, and they are ready to go. And of course, it's called Empty the Shelters Holiday Hope, so that, you know, a lot of these organizations can get homes for these dogs and cats. And I was looking through some of their Facebook pages, and they're full. Lafayette Animal Shelter and Care Center. Also, Animal Aid is involved. There's a couple of others in Iberia Parish and Vermilion Parish as well. So go check it out. We've got the list at our website. And there's also some tips and things to think about before you adopt a pet. You know, and I've told you before, I am a huge animal advocate, animal rights advocate, an advocate of being a responsible pet owner, basically.
Of course. Yeah.
And you see some of these stories or hear some of these stories of dogs that are surrendered if their owner gets elderly or passes away or goes into a nursing home and can't take the pet with them. And I understand that. But there are situations where some of these dogs and cats for that matter, are surrendered just because, oh, stop being fun.
Yeah.
Stop being cute.
Right.
So when you adopt a pet, you need to make sure that you are ready for that responsibility because pets live 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, I had a cat that I got when he was like 5 or 6 weeks old. He was 19 and a half when he died.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a commitment that is for their lifetime.
Right.
So, you know, think about that. Think about vet bills, those kinds of things. But I can tell you that in exchange for living up to your responsibilities, the love that you get back is just immeasurable.
Look, I'll say the star of the show, besides my little boy at our Thanksgiving get together, was the dog Max that one of Hannah's brothers brought over from the Baton Rouge area. Max, and so they're training him to be like a guide dog,
right? Yeah,
and so he's doing all kind of tricks, and so both of my little ones were just in love with him and just playing with him for most of the time that they were there.
Well, yeah.
And but I told my wife, I said I kind of felt like we were almost like the grandparents because we got to enjoy the dog, but we don't have to take care of it. You know?
All the love without all the responsibility.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, you know, there was a time when I've had pets, but now is not that time.
Well, yeah, you have little kids, and that's understandable. You know, you have enough responsibility on your plate, and maybe when the kids get older, you can, you know, have a pet, and that's something to think about too. Is gifting, quote unquote, a pet. First of all, make sure the person knows. Don't surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise! I got you a puppy.
Yeah.
That's never a good idea unless you talk to that person ahead of time and, you know, just let them know.
Yeah.
You know, do you want a pet? And here's the thing: there were some great suggestions that I read as I was putting this story together. If that person says no, allow them the opportunity, allow them the space to say that.
Yeah.
And instead of, let's say it's going to cost $100. I'm just pulling a number out of the air. Let's say it's going to cost $100 to adopt that pet. Give that as a donation in that person's name. And if you and that person, or maybe it's somebody, you're a child, a husband, a wife, a significant other, wants an animal and has been talking about it, instead of bringing one home, give them a gift certificate that says, hey, we're going to go to the shelter on thus and such a day, and you get to choose the animal you take home. Because I can tell you, one of the best dogs I ever had, I went to a shelter. I already had, I think I had a lab, and I had a little Pekingese at the time. And I told my husband, I said, I want another dog, but I'd prefer a smaller one that can live in the house. So we went to a local shelter. And I walked in and I found a little dachshund mix that we were going to get. But there was this, he'd be considered an elderly border collie who had a short arm. It wasn't that he had it removed. It was just a congenital, I'm going to call it defect. But we named him Sammy. And when I tell you that dog was one of the most loyal, loving, amazing pets I've ever had. And we went to the shelter fully intending to just get a smaller dog. As a matter of fact, we ended up keeping Sammy and rehoming the other dog because he was a little hyper and didn't get along with the other two we already had. But we were responsible. We found another family that was looking for a dog, and so he didn't have to go back to the shelter. Anyway, I tell you that story because you don't know who you're going to fall in love with when you go into the shelter.
Absolutely.
Or maybe you want a dog and you decide, oh my gosh, I'd prefer a cat. These things happen.
But letting people pick for themselves as opposed to picking one out. You know, they may just not like that certain breed that you brought to them, and
the chemistry may not be there.
The chemistry may not be there.
It's about personality. So anyway, go to our website. We have a list of the shelters that are participating. in the Bissell program. It starts December 1st and goes through December 17th. You can go on there's links to the shelter websites so that you can look at the pets that are available for adoption right now.
I mean, that is just a lot of savings. When you talk about just the $50 in and of itself, which is way less than if you would pay to just buy a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Then the fact that they're fully vaccinated, microchipped, and spayed or neutered. I mean, that is like three different trips to the vet right there. That's all taken care of already for you.
Yeah. So
I mean, it don't get better than that.
Adopt, don't shop. KPL News Time 6:53.
Get breaking news first and exclusive content now. Download the free KPEL News app, free in the App Store and Google Play. Here.
Do it. KPEL News Time is 6:56. It is 38 degrees, clear conditions. All right, so want to remind you about a great thing that we have going here, and it's actually happening across our area. But we've partnered up with Rose's Angels to be able to donate toys for kids in need across Acadiana. And so we've been honored to be able to team up with Robin McMillan of McMillan's Pub, and she's been doing this for the past 2 decades. And, you know, when she started off and she said, look, I want to be able to, you know, get toys to kids that are in need of them and that'll, you know, very much appreciate them. You know, she started off and got a list of a little over 100 kids.
Yeah.
Now it's a little less than 1,000 kids that are on her list.
And amazingly, she fulfills their wishes. The wishes come from the public. She takes them from the public. But Boys and Girls Clubs of Acadiana, Smile, ARCH, which is Acadiana Regional Coalition on Homelessness and Housing, and then CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates for the foster children in that particular program. And she was here a couple of weeks ago, and just amazing to hear the stories and the generosity of people. And just her work. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no, it's
and she doesn't do it for the glory. She just does it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. She has a heart for it. And so, you know, we have a donation box that's set up here at Town Square Media. There are donation boxes set up at Fisher's Early Childhood Development locations. And then also at Rise Physical Therapy on Rue Beauregard.
Yeah.
And then at Tipsy Cajun on Ridge Road in Dusson. So we've got 6 different locations that you can give toy donations to. You can also, you know, if you look at the story on our website, and we've got a button up there for you to click. It's called Rose's Angels. You can also call the number within the story, and Robin will put you in touch with, or she'll give you the list of kids specifically. So you can make those donations like we talked about,
right?
Like a good general donation. Or you can also call her and say, hey, I'd like to adopt a kid, if you will. Basically, what you do is you adopt their wish list.
Right.
And then you get the items that are on their wish list, and then you get that to Robin. So all that's available for you at the website, kpel965.com, and on the KPEL News app.
Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
On this Cyber Monday, the big online shopping sale, the Wall Street Journal says many retailers are now focusing on what you want to buy. Companies have spent much of the year working through stockpiles from last year and have cleaned up distribution centers and balance sheets. Amazon is now the biggest delivery business in the U.S. The Wall Street Journal says Amazon is eclipsing both UPS and FedEx, though the U.S. Postal Service is still the biggest parcel delivery service by volume. Used car prices are still historically high, but some types of cars are being priced about 10% below a year ago. The biggest decline is in the price of compact cars, down more than 10%. Mid-sized used car prices have declined about 8%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Kozla, invested in you.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News Israel has said it would extend the truce by every day 10 more hostages are freed.
I've seen the reports that Hamas says that it can't locate all of them. That is, of course, horrific beyond measure.
Israeli government spokesman Eylon Levy says Hamas has to resolve that. President Biden wants the fighting halted for longer,
so that we can continue to see more hostages come out and surge more humanitarian relief into those who are in need in Gaza.
Now, today, Hamas will set free the last of the 50 hostages in the initial deal with Israel in the swap for Palestinian prisoners the day after Fox's Trey Yingst reports.
9 children and 2 mothers were flown by helicopter to this hospital just outside of Tel Aviv, where they are receiving treatment at this hour. Among that group, 4-year-old Abigail Idan, an American-Israeli citizen.
She is an orphan now. Her parents were killed in the Hamas terror attack. The U.S. has been targeted again in the Middle East. Missiles fired at a warship. They missed, landing in the sea instead.
The USS Mason, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, was responding to a distress call from a tanker ship in the Gulf of Aden. The MV Central Park had been hijacked, and the suspected hijackers were arrested as they tried to get away. U.S. officials tell us 2 missiles were then fired from a part of nearby Yemen, controlled by the Iran-backed Houthi militia.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. For the first time all month, kids will go to class in Portland, Oregon, after teachers worked out a tentative contract to end a strike that closed schools November 1st. This is a day many Americans shop while they work. Cyber Monday, and Fox's Mark Meredith reports.
The National Retail Federation estimating some 71 million people are going to be taking part in Cyber Monday, even as some Americans are still unsure about the state of the economy. Retailers estimating they're going to see $12 billion in expected revenue just from today alone.
That's more than Black Friday, when Adobe Analytics reports we spent almost $10 billion online. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, Christmas will be here before we know it. If you're looking for a really special gift, I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, you start by going to their website, henryusa.com, order their free holiday gift guide, and they'll mail it with free decals that you can use for stocking stuffers. Perfect timing. Folks, when you give someone a Henry, you're giving them a work of art that is built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen as a collector. Now, their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate, all of them, right out of the box. They shoot smooth and straight, and they have been reliable ever since. They have over 200 models of rifles and shotguns and revolvers to choose from. One of the things I like the most about these firearms, they're family heirlooms. They'll always be backed by the company's lifetime warranty. So if you want to put something that's made in America under the tree this Christmas, henryusa.com. Get their free gift guide and their decals today. That's henryusa.com. You will love this company.
For the next 3 days in Georgia, people will say goodbye to a former First Lady.
Members of the public will be able to pay their respects to former First Lady Rosalind Carter when she lies at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum today. Tomorrow, a tribute service will be held for invited guests at Emory University. President Biden, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, Vice President Harris, and the second gentleman are all expected to travel to Georgia this week. The president has spoken highly of the former First family since Carter's death, saying,
They're really an incredible family because they brought so much grace to the office.
Carter died last week at the age of 96, shortly after the family announced she would be entering hospice care. She used much of her platform to combat the stigma associated with mental health treatment. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Now, when she died, former President Jimmy Carter was by her side. He's 99 and also in hospice care at home in Georgia. Pope Francis is ailing again months after abdominal surgery.
Usually the Pope speaks to crowds from a window of his residence overlooking St. Peter's Square on Sundays. But this Sunday, he told the crowd,
Oggi non posso affacciarmi dalla finestra.
He said, today I cannot appear at the window because I have this problem of inflammation of the lungs. The 86-year-old pontiff underwent a CAT scan Saturday after a bout of flu. The Vatican had said the test had ruled out lung complications. That was in direct contrast to what the Pope said Sunday. Pope Francis has said he will be going to the United Arab Emirates for a climate change conference and will deliver a speech next Saturday as scheduled. Jill Nato, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down modestly after 4 straight weeks of gains. On Sunday Night Football, Baltimore beat the LA Chargers 20-10. The Ravens now 9-3 atop the AFC. The NFC's top team, Philadelphia, edged Buffalo 37-34 in overtime. The Eagles have the NFL's best record, 10-1. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barry was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donelon says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a 1-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. Lafayette Consolidated Government says you should not call Republic directly. Local animal shelters will be participating in the Bissell Empty the Shelters Holiday Hope program December 1st through the 17th. The reduced fee adoption event allows adopters to take home a vaccinated, microchipped, and spay-or-neutered pet for $50 or less. We have listed the participating Acadiana shelters on our website and on the KPEL app. You may pay a bit more for a fresh Christmas tree this year, but the LSU Ag Center says there are enough to go around. The drought this summer affected some crops, but growers were able to irrigate to minimize loss. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the 3rd player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
Your news update brought to you by Home Furniture Plus Bedding. Over 40,000 furniture and mattress choices in stock and ready for delivery. Home Furniture Plus Bedding. Welcome home.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees and a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5, KPEL. Right now, traffic.
And taking a look at what's happening on the roadways right now. We do have a crash, Evangeline Thruway, I-49 in Karen Crow, as there are injuries being reported there. Let's see here. We'll try to get more details for you, but that's all we're getting right now. Also, we have Johnson Street near the Lafayette Regional Library. There's a crash there. And school zones in effect right now, so please be mindful of them. Your national anthem is brought to you by Hulco Printers, serving Acadiana since 1972. Buy local, shop local, support Acadiana.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does their star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good morning and welcome into Acadiana's Morning News. Brandon Como and Tracy Wirtz here with you.
Good morning and happy Monday, November 27th. Coming back after maybe a long weekend. Sometimes you can get a real sluggish start. Although some folks are just like, yes, I'm rested and I'm going back. I would think that those are the people in the minority.
Yes.
But, big sports weekend
Yes.
for a lot of reasons. There's 8 Acadiana teams left in the playoffs?
Yes, and some very unexpected teams are still alive right now, which makes it that much more exciting. Now, let's talk about the teams real quickly that we figured would be at this point.
Okay.
LCA.
Yeah.
They won big the other night, which has a really cool story there, which we'll see if we have time to get to. STM, they won big as well. And Turlings, they ended up getting the biggest challenge of the three by taking on an Edie White team that was undefeated and going on the road to do
Edie
so.
White?
Oh, yeah. They went on, and I mean, they got up to a big lead in that game. And then, I don't want to say held on, but just kind of held their own the rest of the way.
Right.
But Turlings won that game in Thibodaux against Edie White. That was a phenomenal. So now you've got LCA and Turlings going to play this Friday.
Oh, no.
Here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL and on Classic Rock 105.1 because both stations are the home for each team.
Yeah.
So Kevon Bordelon and Scott Brazda will have the Turlings broadcast here. Ian Oza and myself will have the LCA broadcast on Classic Rock.
Congratulations to Turlings because Edie White has been a force.
They have.
Since I was in high school, and
Yes.
I'm sure before that, I just remember that name and always have because it was almost a foregone conclusion at one time where if you were going to go up against Edie White, you were going to take the L. I mean,
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
going to happen, you know?
Yeah, Turlings was impressive. They went to E.D. White and handled them pretty well.
Nice.
So that is awesome. So you've got
I don't
those
even
three
know
teams.
I don't even know where they are, and I don't care. It's just, it's one of those things, kind of David and Goliath situation.
Yeah, no, they're in Thibodaux. So, and we're thankful that Turlings won because otherwise we'd be having to drive to Thibodaux on Friday. So we're very thankful, and to have the matchup here in Lafayette, it's going to be at LCA. They might break the attendance record, which was set earlier this year when LCA played STM,
Right.
and they had 4,100 people there.
So is this the semifinals where if they win this
Yes.
one, they go to state?
They go to the Dome. Yes,
So it is. They're playing back in the Dome again?
playing back in the
Because
Dome.
they weren't for a little while,
Yeah,
right?
so about 2-3 years ago, and we were covering Acadiana High at the time. Acadiana High ended up winning a state championship at Northwestern State.
Okay.
Was where they held it
remember
for
that.
1 year. But no, they're back in the Dome. So speaking of Acadiana, they pulled off what many people thought was a big upset. I told Ian, I said, be careful. I said, Acadiana, watch if they don't win this game. They played Holy Cross.
Ooh,
Who is another
game.
big power.
A big school.
And as a matter of fact, Holy Cross was number 1 seed. Acadiana, in all of their illustrious history, and for one, they never beat a number 1 seed in the playoffs. They usually are a number 1 seed, but not this year. They're an 8 seed this year. And they went on the road. It was a neutral site type of a game, though. That's another story behind that, too.
Yeah.
And then Acadiana beat Holy Cross by 2 touchdowns, was actually up by bigger than that, ended up winning that game. So Acadiana moves on. So that's 4 of your 8 teams. Then you also have Cecilia is still in it right now. They are taking on Northwest. So Northwest has had some really good teams in the past, but not really able to get this far. So Northwest is kind of, I don't want to say like a Cinderella story type of thing, but getting this far, it's a huge deal. And staying in St. Landry Parish, Opelousas High is in the semifinals. Now think about that, because Opelousas has had some really rough years.
Right.
But Opelousas is now in the semis. So the winner of Cecilia and Northwest will play the winner of Opelousas and North DeSoto in the Dome next week.
Oh, I think my head just exploded. Okay.
And we still got Vermilion Catholic.
Oh, go VC.
Who's in it? Oh, I love VC. We've done many VC games. We did some years ago. Their fan base is so phenomenal. They have one of the best barbecue burgers ever. But and they also
It's
have
all about the food,
It's
man.
all about the food. And they also have a grave site behind their stadium, which is so cool.
Yeah.
So VC is also in it as well, as they are playing in the semis. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Opelousas, Northwest, Cecilia, Acadiana, STM Turlings, Lafayette Christian Academy, and Vermilion Catholic. That's your 8 teams.
All
right
right. Congratulations and good luck. In college ball, the Raging Cajuns scored or secured rather a 6th bowl trip.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. I don't think that we know what bowl it's going to be yet.
We don't know yet.
What's the speculation?
The speculation is it's going to probably be the Cure Bowl, which is in Orlando, or it may be, and I don't remember the name of the bowl, but whatever bowl is the one, the Lending something Tree Bowl, I think it is, in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
So those are the 2. I don't think it's going to be New Orleans Bowl this year. I don't think that's going to work out in their favor, but it will probably be one of those 2 bowls. That's the speculation right now.
I mean, Orlando would be cool for them to go to, but I think Mobile is much more drivable.
It's more drivable
for fans that could go and see them, and that makes a difference. The fans in the stands, absolutely.
Yes. I thought it was cool that they were able to close down the stadium by beating, and not just beating, but just
walloping.
Thank you, UO Monroe,
52-21.
Yes.
Moving on to LSU.
Okay.
Excuse me. Jaden Daniels had a good game, as did the whole team this Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
But today, the ballots go out for the Heisman Trophy. And the concern is that LSU doesn't play this week.
Yeah.
But Jaden's 2 biggest contenders, I'll say, for the Heisman Trophy do play.
Mm-hmm.
And, from what I've been reading, Heisman has been something on my radar, I think, since Joe Burrow. Because, look, I like me some Joe Burrow.
Yeah. And he got hurt for the year, by the way.
Yes, he's out for the year. Yes. Yeah. But apparently, and you'll know more about this, and some of the folks who really follow it will know more as well, but apparently the powers that be who make these decisions watch them each week, and that goes into their decision about who gets the Heisman Trophy, which I think is pretty fascinating. So, and I'll have to find out what it is, but the LSU, basically the sports department, has created a website that includes Jaden Daniels, basically all of his accomplishments, all the things he's done. I'm sure they'll have video of some of his plays, and they're hoping that is enough to keep him on the Heisman radar.
So here's a little fact for you. Take this for what it is, and hopefully it comes true. So Jaden Daniels scored 50 touchdowns this year. Okay. He is the 5th player in SEC history with 50 TDs in a season.
Wow.
Okay. So he joins Joe Burrow, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, and Bryce Young with having 50 touchdowns in a season. They all, those 4 people have in common?
Right. What?
All Heisman Trophy winners.
Ah.
So hopefully that means Jaden Daniels will be the 5th and get him a Heisman Trophy as well.
So we'll see. The ballots, like I said, they go out today. KPEL News Time 724.
Implicit bias. We like it because, we like it. We take pride in Catholic conservative guy stuff. So this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, grab a weekly whiskey and see if your implicit bias aligns with ours. Implicit bias. Saturdays, 10 a.m. News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
It's 38 degrees, KPEL News Time, coming up on 727. And, we have great education here in Lafayette Parish, and you've got 15 schools that are being awarded grants for some very innovative education programs to be able to fund for students here.
Yeah, and I wanted to actually, that's the one the United Way handed out. I wanted to mention, I wanted to mention the Fortify Home Grants.
Okay.
You might have heard it in news today. But the grants will be released at noon.
Okay.
So if you have already created a profile for the Fortify Home Grants, that's the grants to help redo or fix your roof to where they will withstand certain wind events. Then at noon, go back to the website. It's ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Go there, and at noon you'll see a submit or apply button, and then you click there. And I did not realize this until I did the story today on it.
Okay.
Is that in the application process, you provide apparently enough information that when you go and hit submit or apply, the first 750 people get it.
Okay.
So it's not like you do the profile and then click submit or apply and have to do all of this other stuff. That's not the case.
Right.
So if you have not created a profile yet, do that this morning so it's all done.
Yeah.
Because at noon, submit or apply will appear. And it's the first 750. And as you may have heard, in the first 3 rounds, those went really quickly.
Yeah.
Originally, they were given, I think, enough to do 3,000 grants, which would exhaust them today because this is the 4th round. So, yeah, I'm doing the math in my head. But that could be extended depending on if they get more money into the Fortify Louisiana program. So wanted to make sure that you knew how to access that money and that it's not that difficult.
All right, KPEL News Time 729.
His voices on the biggest issues.
We're listening to your concerns, and that's why it's so important for us to say that we hear you.
News Talk 96.5, KPEL. Depend on it.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Find out more about how they can help you at MatthewJames.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barre was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlan says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a 1-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the 3rd player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
Your news update is brought to you by Home Furniture Plus Bedding. They have over 40,000 furniture and mattress choices in stock. Take a look at homefern.com.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees and a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Taking a look at what's happening on the roadways right now. School zones in effect, so please be mindful of them. Also, we have a couple crashes to mention to you. One of them is Westgate Road in Scott. This is right by its intersection with Old Colony Road, so that's Westgate near Old Colony. Also, we have a couple of other crashes. One of them to mention to you, Johnston near the library. That's Johnston near the library, and the other one just cleared up, so please keep it safe out there. Remember, Westgate near Old Colony and Johnston near the library. KPEL News Time is 7:37. It is 38 degrees under sunny conditions. We're chuckling. But we're also loving all these pictures that you guys are sending on our Facebook page, KPEL News Facebook page. As Tracy put up the question, hey, we want to see your Christmas trees. And we've got some beautiful Christmas trees that people are showing. I love the one where the person has created shelves in the form of a tree, which is really, really cool. Very creative. And just some really cool pictures that you guys are sending in.
Yeah, and I love that. So go to our Facebook page and please share your photos with us. Just drop it in the comments. And make us all smile this morning.
Yes, we're even laughing at the bah humbug that's in there as well.
Yes. Okay, so we aren't going by the liturgical calendar right now, but it is after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So, and if you go by the stores, then I don't know, Christmas started in August. That's a whole nother story.
There you go. Well, joining us right now in the studio is Chris Babin, president of Acadiana Better Business Bureau. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, so what's going on?
Well,
besides the Saints losing another game,
man, it's a rough one out there. Whew. You try to be a proud, long time, dedicated supporter.
But they
it's a love-hate relationship sometimes.
It really is. This is starting to remind me too much of the pre-Drew Brees, Sean Payton years.
Oh man, I know you are right. Let's hope not. Right?
No, of course. So what are we talking about today?
So this week, if you listen on Monday mornings and you hear what we talk about, a lot of times it focuses on online scams. And when I go to the office on Monday mornings before I come in and try to get some of the most recent stuff, and being reported on our scam tracker right now is almost nothing but online scams.
Yeah.
Nothing but people falling victim to these things. So we're going to talk about it again, tell you actually just like two of the most recent ones that came in over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
And also, I think it's a good time with today being Cyber Monday.
Yes.
Online shopping has always been it's grown and grown, especially since the pandemic. But today, since, early 2000s is the day, coined Cyber Monday, which people are encouraging, consumers to shop online, buy things online, and in celebration of the holidays and everything else. So you will see extra special deals online, which that kind of happened with Thanksgiving and Black Friday and stuff. If you notice the stores, a lot of things are geared online now too, which opens us up to falling victim to some of these scams. So this one's coming out of Generette. Gentleman said that he found a brand name Camden frosted glass TV stand with a fireplace in it. Which have become more and more popular. Plug it in. It has a fire, warming feature. It looks like a fireplace.
Got to.
You can put your TV. There you go. You can put your TV on it. Now, a lot of times these cost hundreds, if not, you could probably pay $1,000 for them. Well, he found one that was $55.
Okay.
And he placed the order. They sent him a tracking number, but this was weeks ago. Nothing has come in. He's unable to track anything with the tracking number. He didn't pay much attention to the tracking number at first.
Yeah.
And then after, I wonder where this thing's at. When is it supposed to be here? He's realizing the tracking number is not coming back to any shipping company or anything like that. So he's gone now and canceled his card that he used, but the $55 is gone.
Yeah.
And the biggest red flag in this situation would probably be the price.
Yeah.
Depending on the size and make and stuff of this thing, $55 seems a little cheap.
Right.
And that's, I guess, part of the vulnerability right now with a lot of the deals and things that you can find online is you might find stuff for half price.
Right.
And it is a really good deal, and it's a legitimate deal through a legitimate retailer for you, shopping online on their website. So how do you tell some of these apart? He said he came across it in an advertisement. So that's one of the things. Unfortunately, the advertising is very hard to believe, especially online. So I'm not sure where he saw the advertisement. Probably not just randomly online, but most likely social media. So that's one of the main areas to be cautious of the things that you see. Another one that came in over the weekend, this was the most recent one. The one right before it was somebody saw an ad on Facebook for a Bissell vacuum that was like 75% off and clicked on it, tried to purchase it. It never showed up. It never came in. I think it was like $40 or something,
Yeah,
the advertised price, which was a lot cheaper. Never came in, still hasn't come in. The card's been used multiple times since that transaction. You know, so this it unfortunately feels like we're continuing to talk about be safe online, make sure you're looking at the ads, but we also know that scammers are being very savvy and people are still falling victim to some of these things. So you want to be extra cautious.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I know that people will never give up like online shopping. I mean, we're talking about we're on Cyber Monday here today,
right?
But some of these that you're talking about, man, it sounds like we always talk about how some of them can be easy to fall victim to, but these are like scarily easy to fall victim
frighteningly,
to. Yeah. Like, I mean, what you know, just talking about how if you click on something and you can't get the item, where you're thinking, okay, well, fine, I guess I won't be able to get the item, but not realizing that behind the scenes, if you will, your information is being stolen because you still put your card information in there.
Yeah. Well,
like, that's
and
scary.
Something that I've done, and I don't know that it works all the time, but if I see an ad for something like that and I don't recognize the address or the bit, like I'll click on the link to see what it is. I'll find the business name, go all the way down to about, and then I'll copy that into Google and put reviews.
Yeah.
And now some of them are, you know, obviously they stuff the box, the ballot box, you know, so to speak. So read a few of the different kind of reviews to find out what the company's like. And there have been a few companies that I've chosen not to do business with.
Sure.
Because, you know, they've gotten really bad reviews, and it may be an issue of not just quality, but it never got there, or they scam me, or whatever. And so that's, I know for me, one of the ways that I check. If it's not recognizable, like if I don't go onto the Amazon app, or I don't go onto, you know,
right,
whatever app I trust, that's how, you know, I've bought things from companies that I wouldn't typically, because they had good reviews and I had a good experience.
And to your point, Brandon, you know, it's scarily easy to fall victim to these things, you know, and that's what we're finding. A lot of people aren't even realizing it's a scam. They're checking out and waiting on things to arrive for weeks and then realizing, you know, there's almost no immediate red flag. But one thing is when you click on an advertisement, you know, the advertisement for whatever that's Cyber Monday, 50% off website, you know, site-wide, you're going to see that kind of stuff today. Well, when you click on that, make sure you're going to that website. And I think that is a lot of times where things fall in. It's going to bring you to a page that looks like the website and maybe even has some products on it that you can try to purchase. Yeah. But I, for one, you know, haven't talked about this for so long. If it's, you know, abc.com company, you know, I'll just go to their website. Aside from the link, aside from the ad. And if it's really legitimately 50% off site-wide, you're going to see that as soon as you go to the website.
Oh, yeah, good
So then
point.
now you're on the website, you're dealing with the company themselves. You know, there's just some ways to try to make sure you're looking into it before you just click on something and purchase it. And then if not, maybe you get deep into the clicks before you start putting in personal information and financial information. Definitely backtrack and see, you know, is this what I think it is? Because a lot of these retailers, too, you have to use like a coupon code or something.
Right.
You know, Cyber 2023, or, you know, it's not just go to it and it's automatically 50% off.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes there's some work involved. And if you're taking the time to look at it, you can avoid some of these things.
Now, if you put it on a credit card versus a debit card, you can a lot of times dispute the charges, right?
Yeah. And you have better protections through the bank. You know, because it's not tied to an account, it's tied to a line of credit. And when you contact, I mean, it will be different for each, you know, bank branch or company. But when you contact them and it's a credit card, it's a lot easier for them to reverse the transaction. And then they do whatever internally to try to recoup funds and stuff from those things. But when it's tied to your bank account and, you know, let's say in this instance, $55 came out, it's a lot harder for them to, or I guess, I don't know if it's harder for them, but they're less willing to put $55 back in your account.
Right.
Whereas a credit card, something tied to just a line of credit, you have better protections.
Yeah, so I do that. I mean, I'm not encouraging anybody to get into credit card debt, you know. But and if I do things like
Yeah,
that.
sure,
A lot of
sure.
times
Yeah.
I'll put it on a credit card,
Right.
and then once it's all complete, then I pay the credit card off. But that's something that may be a way for you to protect yourself, especially on this Cyber Monday when if let's say you do all of the things that Chris is suggesting and you still fall victim to a
Yep,
scam.
You can.
That may be just an added layer.
It's just, I know we know this, but it bears repeating. It's just easier if you're dealing with a credit card to dispute charges than if you have to do it through a debit card with a bank.
Yep.
I mean, look, we went through something last week where someone hacked into our account and started ringing up charges on our debit card. And, thankfully, actually it was 2 weeks ago, thankfully it was taken care of within the week because we found out on Monday when the bank notified us, and then on Friday it was the money was put back in. But with a credit card, it's just so much easier to do. And, people, I know credit card can, because of all the debt that's associated with those words, can be looked at as a bad thing. But like you said, Tracy, if you pay it off responsibly, if you pay it off at the end of each month, or heck, you even pay it off the next day after you make a purchase, you're going to be fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with using that credit card responsibly.
Right, and that's the word. But that may be a way, again, that you can protect yourself, that added layer. Like if this gentleman placed the order, let's say 3 weeks ago, and it said it would be in an X number of time, then you can take action to reverse the charges or stop the payment or however that works.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, anything else before we let you go, man?
That's it. Be safe out there, especially on this Cyber Monday, doing things online. And you can go to bbb.org. All these tips and everything we share on there, and you can always give us a call if we can be of assistance. 337-981-3497.
KPEL News Time is 7:49.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Depend on it.
Honey.
KPEL News Time, 7:51, 38 degrees under sunny skies. All right, let's talk about Thanksgiving leftovers.
Do you still have any in your refrigerator?
Not in my refrigerator, in my freezer now.
Really?
So
Okay.
last night was the cutoff for us. I have had food poisoning before.
Me
I
too.
can't believe I did this, but this was about 10, 11 years ago. I had some delicious seafood platter. And I'm going to say this and feel like an idiot, but I'm going to just say it. About a week after I ate there, I decided to finish it off, which was oh my God, I can't believe I was
Especially
that
with
dumb.
seafood.
Especially with seafood. The food poisoning was real. It was rough for about 2 days. And I was like, never
And it's
again.
painful.
It is so painful. And one of the most helpless feelings to me is when you're nauseated and you have to throw up, and it's that never-ending feeling, and you're trying to get it out your system and you can't.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
If that sounds as unpleasant to you as it does to me,
Yes.
there are some food safety tips on our website. As you said, some of them, if they are freezable.
Yes.
Because there's some things that just aren't. I mean, you can freeze anything, but there's some.
Yeah,
things
it
that
won't come out right when you defrost it.
You can't eat it anymore after today. So there are a few things that you can eat today, but that's you kind of taking your life into your hands, or at least your stomach into your hands.
Yes.
We did really well in terms of portioning this year.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot left at all.
Well, that's good.
Very small. What I'm going to have to toss out is very small containers. Also, if you want to eat them again because they are in the freezer, you have to be careful about how you defrost them.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true too. And so there's some great guidelines, whether it's what's called the refrigerator rule, how long they should stay in the fridge, the freezer guidelines like you were talking about. There's also a Food Keeper app that helps you with this as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was an app because my husband and I a lot. We put leftovers away and eat them, or he'll eat them for lunch or whatever. And I can't tell you how many times it's, when you hear this coming from the refrigerator, inevitably is that still safe to eat? And he'll say, is this good?
Yeah.
And then we have to, if you have to, if you have to do the math for too long in your head, just don't risk it.
Yeah, and so it kind of, with Thanksgiving being on Thursday and today being Monday, it kind of makes for a great, for us, we set that 3-day limit. And here you can do some foods for 4 days.
Right.
But again, as someone who had food poisoning years ago, I never, ever want to have that again. And so last night we're like, look, I'm going to get one last little bit of the Thanksgiving and we're going to put the rest away, the stuffing and the turkey and a little bit of that was left, especially the ham, actually. And it goes in the freezer. We probably won't see it again for months and months later.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got that story at our website, and it will also bring you to the Food Keeper app, which to me, that's go and get it now.
Yes.
The Fox Business Report, brought to you by Paul's Jewelry, Acadiana's trusted family jeweler for over 65 years.
I'm Liz Lehman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Americans are still spending despite predictions of consumers pulling back as they face higher interest rates and still high inflation. Today's Cyber Monday is expected to be the year's biggest online shopping day, with $12 billion in spending, up 5.4% from a year ago. Among the big online sellers on Black Friday, TVs, smartwatches, Barbie dolls, and Bluetooth headphones. Black Friday online shopping came in at nearly $10 billion, a new record. Online retail software company Shopify are rallying after reports of upbeat holiday shopping. And shares of iRobot are higher. There's anticipation it will be purchased by Amazon because it's more likely to win approval from EU regulators. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Gifting Grace Project, Hope for Homeless Children, is looking for assistance to provide gifts for school children whose parents or guardians are considered homeless. You can donate money or toys. Please help children this holiday season by going to giftinggraceproject.com for all the details. The 13th annual Professional Career Reception is set for Wednesday, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton on Pinhook Road in Lafayette. The event is hosted by the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, UL Lafayette, and other organizations. You can get the complete list of all the employers that will be at the job fair by calling 337-482-1444. See you at the Hilton in Lafayette, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com. News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios, online at matthewjames.com.
The last set of Israeli hostages expected to be set free soon. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. On the fourth and final day of a ceasefire deal, Hamas has already released more than 50 hostages as more humanitarian aid flows into Gaza. This woman's 3 grandchildren among those set free yesterday.
We hug them a lot, again and again and again. We cry a lot. We laugh a lot.
A 4-year-old Israeli-American, Abigail Adan, was also set free. Her parents were killed last month. Another of the hostages released in a swap for Palestinian prisoners is frail in critical condition.
Alma Avraham, and she is 84 years old. And according to her daughter, she was not given the medicine that she needed when she was held for more than 50 days by Hamas.
Fox's Trey Yingston, Israel.
The Israelis are working diplomatic channels today to try to get more hostages out and possibly extend this ceasefire deal. It comes as Elon Musk visited Israel today. He traveled with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to a small community called Kfar Aza that sits near the Gaza border, where
And the Musk's ex social media company's been under scrutiny over controversial posts about the war on what used to be Twitter. Was a weekend shooting motivated by hate? That's a question in Burlington, Vermont, where a suspected gunman's due in court today.
Jason Eaton is in custody in connection with the shooting of the three men who were all 20 years old and wearing black and white Palestinian keffiyeh scarves. Investigators say the men were walking near the University of Vermont when they were confronted by a white man with a handgun who, without speaking, fired at least 4 rounds, hitting the men.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. It's Cyber Monday, the biggest online shopping day of the year, with many buying while working. It's estimated we'll spend $12 billion. 3 days of tributes begin in Georgia, where former First Lady Rosalind Carter will lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Library. President Biden will attend a memorial service tomorrow. The burial's Wednesday. She died at age 96, with ex-President Jimmy Carter by her side. He's 99, also in hospice care. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, Christmas will be here before we know it. If you're looking for a really special gift, I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, you start by going to their website, henryusa.com, order their free holiday gift guide, and they'll mail it with free decals that you can use for stocking stuffers. Perfect timing. Folks, when you give someone a Henry, you're giving them a work of art that is built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen as a collector. Now, their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate, all of them, right out of the box. They shoot smooth and straight, and they have been reliable ever since. They have over 200 models of rifles and shotguns and revolvers to choose from. One of the things I like the most about these firearms, they're family heirlooms. They'll always be backed by the company's lifetime warranty. So if you want to put something that's made in America under the tree this Christmas, henryusa.com. Get their free gift guide and their decals today. That's henryusa.com. You will love this company.
The U.S. has been targeted again in the Middle East after dozens of attacks aimed at American forces based in Iraq and Syria. Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen fired missiles at a U.S. warship, but they fell into the sea miles away. The tension keeps growing along the Korean border following North Korea's launch of a military spy satellite the U.S. says is a provocation that it violates UN resolutions.
South Korea says the North is restoring a section of frontline guard posts. 11 of these had been either disarmed or dismantled in 2018 in an attempt to lower the risk of confrontation. But that deal looks in danger of collapse. The launch of a North Korean spy satellite last week prompted Seoul to resume aerial surveillance on the front. Pyongyang says it'll no longer be bound by the 2018 agreement. The South Korean military has been ordered to keep a close watch. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Kids will finally be back in school this morning in Portland, Oregon for the first time all month.
The Portland School District saying late Sunday that it reached a tentative agreement with its teachers union and that students would be back in class today after more than 3 weeks without classes. The deal that still requires a vote includes double-digit cost of living increases, more class prep time, and mental health support, with teachers union president Angela Bonilla calling the agreement a win.
We all came together, we stuck together, and that's what made this possible.
Some 45,000 students and their parents were left scrambling and frustrated with no classes or online instruction since Halloween, class time that students will have to make up. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures down modestly before the opening bell this hour. In the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens, number one in the AFC with a 9-3 record after a win last night over the LA Chargers. The Philadelphia Eagles beat Buffalo in overtime. The Eagles have the best record in the NFL, 10-1. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the Cape Hill News app. Now the headlines from the Cape Hill News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barre was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlan says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/fortifyhomes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a one-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. Lafayette Consolidated Government says you should not call Republic directly. Local animal shelters will be participating in the Bissell Empty the Shelters Holiday Hope program December 1st through the 17th. The reduced fee adoption event allows adopters to take home a vaccinated, microchipped, and spay-or-neutered pet for $50 or less. We have listed the participating Acadiana shelters on our website and on the KPEL app. You may pay a bit more for a fresh Christmas tree this year, but the LSU Ag Center says there are enough to go around. The drought this summer affected some crops, but growers were able to irrigate to minimize loss. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the 3rd player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees and a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
And taking a look at what's happening on the roadways right now in traffic. We do have a crash on Bertrand Drive, not far from us here at the station. This is Bertrand Drive, right where it splits with Ambassador Caffrey. Please be careful, especially if you're in that area. Other than that, roadways are looking pretty good right now.
Wireless.
Good morning and welcome into Acadiana's Morning News. Brandon Como and Tracy Wirtz here with you.
Good morning. And in true Louisiana election fashion, we got some kerfuffle going on over in Caddo Parish. Mm-hmm. You like that word, kerfuffle?
I like it, kerfuffle, and I think it very much fits in this situation.
There's another word that fits, but we can't say that one on the radio. Now, if you have not heard, in Caddo Parish, Henry Whitehorn and John Nicholson both were up for sheriff in that particular parish. And they went to, of course, the runoff on November 18th. Well, almost like that night, boom, immediately, one vote.
Yes.
One separated the two candidates.
Now, it's one thing when one vote separates a candidate in a smaller level race where you have 500 people maybe voting. Mm-hmm. But in a race for sheriff like this, when you had more than 43,000 people cast votes, to get it down to one vote difference, That is insane. And looking at what's going on right now, so they are counting, they are doing the recount right now. They began at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, today it's the machine recount, and
Yes.
that will be done by noon.
Uh-huh.
In an election, and we've had this discussion with Louis Perret.
Uh-huh.
In an election, if a candidate wants a recount, they have to request it. So John Nicholson did just that.
Because he lost by 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So he wrote to the clerk of court and said, I request a hand recount and inspection of all absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, provisional ballots, and all other paper ballots, including but not limited to any such ballots cast in Caddo Parish reviewed or received by your office or by the registrar of voters or by the Board of Election Supervisors. And I mean, it goes on and on and on. His request is very specific. So he made that request. He also sent a letter to Whitehorn, his opponent, and basically said, look, whatever happens in any court battle following today's recount, machine recount, let's just request another election, which would be on December 10th. And Whitehorn responded, basically, no.
I would say the same thing. Not if I'm the one on top.
We're just going to let it go and see what's going on, see what these recounts are, the machine recount. Now, here's what's interesting to me. The most interesting part of this race is that the clerk of court's office was able to determine almost, very soon after the election.
Okay.
2 people voted twice.
Yes.
So there's two votes, right?
Yes.
And according to Nicholson's, I don't know, his research study of whatever, and I don't know where he got this information, 5 of the people who voted are dead.
Oh, God.
They're dead.
Oh.
Yeah. So, hey, so there's potentially 7 votes.
Yeah, that's a big deal when you're talking about a 1 vote difference. So the Board of Election Supervisors are meeting in the basement of the Caddo Parish Courthouse this morning, and they are recounting the 7,000 mail-in ballots. Those will be rescanned.
Right.
So those will be rescanned, and I'm curious to see what happens at 12 o'clock when this is done.
Okay, so here's my question. And look, please don't think I'm completely stupid. I mean, I can be. All right, so 50% plus 1.
Yes.
So he got 50% plus 1.
Right.
So why didn't he win?
I guess because the margin of victory is so narrow, they allow for the recount to happen.
Yeah, but the law is the law.
I know, but I mean, I don't know that there's a set number.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. Is it's 50% plus 1.
Yes.
So if he won by 1 vote, he got 50% of it plus 1. So
you're like, why shouldn't it be final?
Why didn't he just become the sheriff? I don't, and maybe it's because it was close and they wanted it to be recounted, and I don't know. That's very confusing to me. Yeah. I don't disagree with the fact that it probably should be recounted.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah. And at this point, it's basically a verification of the results.
Right.
So according to what I'm reading here, so I might have answered my own question.
But what if they overturn it, though? What if they find that 7-vote difference turns out to be in the favor of the candidate that originally was deemed the loser?
Well, then he's not going to want to call for another election, will he?
No, of course not.
It's going to be very interesting, and it may not be in our listening area, but this is just fascinating to watch.
And I've seen the numbers on the people are very interested in the story, because, like you said, this is Louisiana politics at its best.
Oh yeah.
And it's crazy. You've had some weird election stories happen this cycle, not just in our area. Like we talked about before, you had the clerk of courts race in DeSoto Parish, where the man the incumbent was caught electioneering. He made it all the way to the runoff and ended up losing to to his challenger, not by a whole lot. He still got a good percentage of the vote, but he ended up losing. And so there's these weird stories like this that all of them point to every vote counts.
No, it does. And, I get an F for preparation on this particular one, but I think there's still a relatively small race in Acadiana that was tied.
You talking about Opelousas, the alderman race?
Was that the one? Yeah. So are they going to do another election? Because apparently we'd had this discussion. So there is an open date, I think, on December 10th. So I don't know what's going to happen. I would think that they'd be back on the ballot. I'm trying to see which one it was.
And these elections aren't cheap. This is like, they try to avoid this at all costs.
Yeah, it's District A, City of Opelousas. Thank you for remembering that. It made it a lot easier to find. Let's see, 448 people voted in that race. And it was 224 to 224. And the candidates were John Gilbo and Victor Lewis. So, what?
That's amazing to me.
Yeah, let me see if there is going to be. Well, anyway, we'll check that out and see if there is in fact going to be an election on December 10th.
Yeah, they're going to have a special election to settle it.
They will?
Yeah.
You're seeing that?
I'm seeing that.
Yeah. Are you on the clerk of Secretary of State or where?
No, I'm on KLFY.com.
Okay.
Where they're talking about the special election is going to be held. And I'm trying to get the verification. This one's going to be held on December 16th, actually.
Oh. Well, and here's what I wonder is, will it be the only
thing on the ballot?
Yes. That's what I'm going to look for, because I know that the 4 amendments on the November 18th ballot, truthfully, kind of caught me by surprise. Not that day.
Right.
But when I found out about it a few weeks before that they would actually be on the ballot.
Yes.
Because we had already voted on 4 of them. And now we were voting on 4 more.
4 more, absolutely. So KLFY reporting and the St. Landry Parish Clerk of Court, Charles Jagno, gave them a great quote. And it's a little story saying, look, the same thing happened in Port Barre about 25 years ago. In a mayor's race there, they tied twice to head the regular election, and they tied in the runoff election. So then they decided to flip a coin.
And let me tell you.
Which is a possibility, but doesn't look like it's going to go to that.
That the same thing happened, and I think it was in Church Point more recently, where they had 2 elections, and both times it was a tie.
I don't even see how that happens.
Well, it did. And, December 16th. So I'll have to see, what else is on the ballot. I will research that and let you know.
All right, KPEL News Time coming up on 8:22.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Gifting Grace Project, Hope for Homeless Children, is looking for assistance to provide gifts for school children whose parents or guardians are considered homeless. You can donate money or toys. Please help children this holiday season by going to giftinggraceproject.com for all the details. The 13th annual Professional Career Reception is set for Wednesday, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the DoubleTree by Hilton on Pinhook Road in Lafayette. The event is hosted by the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, UL Lafayette, and other organizations. You can get the complete list of all the employers that will be at the job fair by calling 337-482-1444. See you at the Hilton in Lafayette, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com.
KPEL News Time is 8:25. It is now 41 degrees under sunny skies. All right, so, we're looking ahead to 2024. Yes, we are looking ahead to 2024.
Yeah, 34 days away.
Yes.
34.
And one of the things I like about the new year is Girl Scout cookies.
I like that every year.
I do, but looking forward to if they're going to have new flavors in the next year.
Oh, good point.
But this, what we're going to talk about, they're actually subtracting a flavor.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there one flavor that maybe comes to your mind that if you would say, you know what, maybe we could do without that one? Or do you just like them all?
No, and truthfully, I buy the same one all the time.
Me too.
So, I know they've had new ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's
I
not
don't
one that
know.
really sticks out.
No.
Well, there's one cookie that will not be a part of next year's lineup, and it's going to be the Raspberry Rally cookie.
Okay, fair.
Do you remember that one?
I remember hearing about, maybe seeing it on the list.
I never
I'm-
tried it either.
Yeah, I'm going for the tagalongs and the Samoas every
I
time.
like this. I like the s'mores one.
Really?
I love the s'mores one. I love the s'mores flavor.
I
That's my favorite.
truthfully, if I buy it now,
Yeah.
I buy one box because I will eat a whole sleeve. I'll just in one sitting.
Yep, absolutely.
No, just no self-discipline.
So it's not because the Raspberry Rally cookies weren't liked. It's because they're being resold for as much as $200 in March. They were extremely popular last year. So they've got to take a pause to prioritize supplying their classic varieties.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
I mean, that's kind of amazing to think about, like the cookies being discontinued, not because it's not liked, but because it was liked so much.
Yeah, I can't. Well, and is that so at that point, is that the smart way to go?
I don't know.
Or shouldn't you look at the ones that are your least performing, performing sellers and get that off the plate so that you can produce more of the one that's the most popular? That's
what I'm
sounds kind of
thinking.
shady to me.
Yeah. So it was remember this was, and if you remember this year, it was, this year, excuse me, it was an online only item because they were trying to get up a bunch of, excitement about it. Hey, you got to go online to buy these. And people did. And it was even bigger than they expected. And so now they're having to take a pause in them and come back to them. But you're right. This is kind of fishy.
Yeah. I don't know that it's just because of the demand. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
I agree.
That makes zero sense.
I agree.
Make it make sense because
this
it
seems like
doesn't.
a marketing ploy.
Yeah. Maybe there will be public outcry and they will have to bring back the raspberry cookie.
There you go.
I'm not a big fan of cookies that have fruit in them.
Good point.
I like, don't get me wrong. Me and Fig Newtons have a really good relationship.
Okay.
But that's probably the only cookie that I really like that has fruit in it. I love fruit.
Yeah.
I just don't like it in my cookies.
I'm all about cookies that have some kind of cream in the middle.
Really?
Yes. Well,
Me, it's nuts, walnuts, pecans, and of course chocolate anytime.
Yes.
But I have to admit, I don't do much in the kitchen right, but I make a beast oatmeal walnut cookie.
Okay.
I'll have to make y'all some.
I won't turn
So
those down.
I'm not going to be affected by the raspberry cookie.
Okay.
Halt, pause, whatever
Yes.
you want to call it. Yeah, because I wouldn't have bought it anyway.
Yeah. Life will go on.
Yeah, that's right.
I just, man, you got to be like, I've always bought my Girl Scout cookies from, whatever kid and parent approached me first. I've never gone online shopping for, as a matter of fact, there was one person who tried to sell me some last year and said, well, I don't have the stuff with me to take the orders, but, you can go online and do it. And I was like, no, you weren't prepared. I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much. If I have a, excuse me, niece in the Girl Scouts, and my girls were in the Girl Scouts, I will buy from them. If otherwise, outside of Walmart or Super One or wherever they are, they get me every time.
KPEL News Time coming up on 8:30. Tracy's got a look at news coming up next. Talk 96.5 KPEL, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Find out more about how they can help you
at MatthewJames.com.
Your 24/7 news source on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Monday, November 27th. A teenager was killed in a single vehicle crash in St. Landry Parish Saturday evening. Louisiana State Police say 17-year-old Hunter Higdon of Port Barry was headed east on LA 360. He ran off the road and hit a ditch, overturning the truck he was driving. Higdon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected. The crash is still under investigation. A fire completely destroyed a home in Scott over the weekend. Firefighters say a vehicle fire in the garage started the fire, which spread to the attic. 3 people were at home at the time, but were able to escape. One of them was taken to the hospital for treatment of minor burns. No firefighters were injured in that blaze. The 4th round of Louisiana Fortify Home Grants will open today at noon. 750 grants will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlan says homeowners must have homestead exemption on the property, an existing policy with wind coverage, and flood insurance if the property's in a flood zone. Interested homeowners should create a profile at ldi.la.gov/Fortify Homes. Then at noon today, a submit or apply button will appear. The first 750 people to click will receive a $10,000 grant. 7,700 mailed-in ballots in Caddo Parish will be rescanned today to determine the winner of the sheriff's race. Returns on November 18th reflected a 1-vote difference between Republican John Nicholson and Democrat Henry Whitehorn. The Caddo Parish Clerk of Court has discovered that 2 people in that race voted twice. Nicholson claims that 5 of the votes were credited to people who are dead. Machines will scan the ballots today, but Nicholson has requested a recount by hand. A reminder that if your Blue Republic garbage carts have not been collected, you should call 311 to make arrangements to have them picked up. The Raging Cajuns secured a bowl slot for the 6th straight year with a win over ULM Saturday. The Cajuns scored 28 unanswered points, defeating the Warhawks 52-21. Saturday's game marked the final time the Vermilion and White would play in the current facility before the $65 million renovations begin. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels has made his case to win the Heisman Trophy. Ballots go out today to the more than 900 people who will vote on who gets the prestigious award. Daniels does not play this Saturday, but the LSU Sports Information Department is hoping a website listing his accomplishments will keep the Heisman buzz going. Daniels is trying to become the 3rd player in LSU history to win the Heisman, joining Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow. That's a look at news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
A lot of sunshine out there for the early part of the day, then some high, thin clouds moving in. It stays chilly with a high near 56. Those winds brisk out of the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cold overnight tonight, lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a little warmer with a high near 60. Wednesday, clouds will be increasing with high temperatures topping out near 66 degrees and a good chance for rain as we round out the work week. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Your weather forecast brought to you by, Service Chevrolet, Acadiana's #1 Chevy dealer 9 years in a row. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, find new roads.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
And we do have a couple crashes to report to you, one of them being Kali Saloom at Bayside. That's Kali Saloom at Bayside. Also, we have another crash, Cameron Street in Scott. This is Cameron Street right near its intersection. Let's see here. This is actually right by its intersection with Alfred Street. So this is Cameron Street near its intersection with Alfred Street as you're going into the main part of Scott.
7.
KPEL News Time is 8:37, 41 degrees now under sunny conditions. So the world's tallest Christmas structure is
where?
In Louisiana.
The world's?
Yes, the world's.
What?
It's in DeSoto Parish
Okay.
in the city of Stonewall.
Okay.
So it's the world's tallest Christmas tree structure. Now, if you don't know where Stonewall is, it's just south of Shreveport.
Okay.
So you can check it out on the website, kpel965.com, or on the KPEL News app. It's not exactly a tree. It's more of a structure.
Okay.
But it does make the appearance of one, which kind of reminds me of, again, what we were talking about earlier on the KPEL Facebook page, where you had people submitting pictures of their Christmas trees, and you had one submit a picture where it was in the form of a tree, but it was shelves.
Yeah, and it looks like they have, it's like a nativity tree.
Yes.
There's, different nativity figurines on it, various kinds, really neat.
Yes.
But there's some pretty trees in there. And listen, if you have your Christmas tree up already, then please send us a picture because, these are really cool. And we talk about the outdoor decorations, which we want to see too, by the way. With Light Up Acadiana, you can find that on our app. But let's show off your indoor decorations. I mean, a lot of folks put a lot of time into putting together these trees and making them beautiful, and all of the different ideas. It looks like some folks have homemade ornaments, probably from their children. There's smaller trees, there's bigger trees, there's the thin trees, there's the fat trees. Just really neat. So thank you for sharing these, and keep on going.
And a part of what makes Christmas so special in our area, and whatever area that you're in, is a lot of times when business people get behind the spirit of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what happened here in DeSoto Parish. So you basically have a local businessman, Perry Thompson, who owns and runs Lumiere Christmas Experience in Stonewall. Well, he was the one that was able to lead the way in transforming this tower, which is a 300-foot tall communications tower located behind Stonewall Government Plaza that came and formed this Christmas tree structure that we're talking about. So basically, there's an aerial shot of it on the website, and you could see from the very top of it going down the Christmas lights that are in the shape of that tree.
Yeah.
And so, pretty cool thing for Stonewall to be able to kind of put their name in the record books, if you will, for the world's tallest Christmas tree structure.
The world's. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. So it's a 28-story tower. There are
28 stories.
28 stories. Over 10,000 LED lights are used to light this thing
on
up.
one tree.
On one Christmas tree
Yes.
structure.
One.
Yes.
One. That's pretty impressive too.
It is. So you can check it out on the website, kpel965.com. Go take a look at it. And of course, it's topped by the Star.
Oh. And Stonewall. I've heard of DeSoto Parish.
Yeah.
Never heard of Stonewall, but now that is their claim to fame, I guess.
That is their claim to fame.
A reason to visit Stonewall, Louisiana.
Yes, absolutely. And, while we're on the subject, when you talk about Christmas and you're not in this area, what city comes to mind first for you?
And you're not in this area?
And you're not in this area.
Natchitoches.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I've kind of had the desire is to check out places around the state that celebrate Christmas. Like, there's a place up near the Monroe area that does their Christmas lights and stuff like that. And so just to see how different parts of our state have their own claim to fame for celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, here we have Noel Acadian that I think is
we go every year.
Have to, if you need to talk about one place, obviously there are different maps online that you can, do driving tours around the parish or around the city or whatever. And those are fantastic. But if I had to say that there was one event, one whatever you want to call it, that is Lafayette's claim to fame, I think it would be Noel Acadian. Of course, Youngsville's going to have one too now.
Well, Youngsville has the ice skating rink.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about
right now.
But don't they have a whole Christmas
So the roundabouts
Fun
have
theme
different
or
Christmas
whatever?
theme. Yeah, if you go, because I drive by those roundabouts every day, you got different Christmas setups at each of the roundabouts, which is beautiful, especially obviously at night when it gets dark and you can see those roundabouts in all their glory.
Yeah.
No, they're pretty cool.
By the way, appreciation of those folks who do decorate outside, but they remember that we're light for a large part of the day because I like, I mean, I love the fact that there are lights.
Yes.
You know, love that. But I've driven by a few houses where they do the blow ups and they put them out during the day, or they have a special nativity scene, or they have something for folks to enjoy during the day too. I like that.
Yeah. No, there's a couple people in a neighborhood that they've already started, and that was one that brought to my mind is someone having a big nativity scene that it's not just an at night thing, but it looks great during the daytime as well.
That's on my bucket list. I know it sounds trivial, but it's to get a big yard now. Of course, they have the blow up ones, but like I want the statue.
Okay.
But I'm saving my money because they ain't cheap.
I bet that. Where do you even get a statue like that?
I've seen the sets of them at different places.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something that I absolutely 100% want. We did buy the blow ups one year. For us, they don't last long. I don't know why, but they just don't last long. But yeah, I want one of the big, statue types, the sets.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a picture of the one that it's in our neighborhood and send it to you.
Yes,
And
please
That'll give
do.
you a good idea of something there to look for. KPEL News Time coming up on 8:44. We'll take this break. We got some Cartstro trivia coming up.
For those fortunate enough to help the person who has always been their hero, find the care guides you need to help at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
If you really want to support our troops, just contact the USO.
You can't believe how much they do for us.
To find out how you can help, visit us at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
In the 14 states that have banned abortion, the birth rate has increased by 2.3% over the past year.
And that is good news, and not just because every life is sacred, but a declining birth rate in any country means the population will get older much faster. And that means an economy shifting away from consumption and innovation to healthcare. And that means there won't be enough workers to pay for the retirees in that country since, for example, Social Security will be depleted by at least 2033. Additionally, military strength will decline if we don't have increasing birth rates because there won't be enough folks to enlist.
But the bottom line is it's right to fight for life. That 2.3% increase is 32,000 souls.
Return each weeknight with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr from 9 to 10 p.m. on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
KPEL News Time is coming up on 8:47. We've got some Cartstro trivia coming up for you, but before that, Tracy wanted to give us a little bit of an update on what's happening in Opelousas.
Okay, so December 16th, we talked about the runoff for city councilman or alderman city of Opelousas, District A. We had a tie, 224 to 224 between both of those candidates. That special election is on December 16th. And the question was, will there be any propositions? Will there be any amendments like there were on October 14th and November 18th? And it appears the answer is no. Because if you look at the Secretary of State's chart, those particular deadlines are quote unquote not applicable. The special it's called a special general election. I think it's Cameron Parish. There's a race for police, Girard District 5 there, and then Opelousas. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I would expect that because everyone thought these elections would be over on November 18th when they're supposed to be over. Not that we would have another runoff election.
Yeah. So if you're listening in Opelousas and you're in District A, Go vote.
Yeah, go vote.
Go vote.
Your vote may literally make the difference.
No, right, because I was looking at the turnout percentages, and just over 20% of the people who could vote in that particular election, that particular portion of the election, was just over 20%. So, look, go vote.
Yeah. It may be the difference. All right. So speaking of voting and elections, it's time for some Cartridge Drill trivia. So Tracy, I'm going to ask you some election trivia questions.
Oh man, okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm
All right.
down.
I think you'll be good with this. Okay. First question. The 2000 U.S. presidential election was officially decided by a controversial Supreme Court decision following a recount of votes in what state?
Florida.
All right. The recount determined that George W. Bush had defeated Al Gore in that state by a mere 537 votes. Now, that's a number I hadn't heard yet.
Yeah.
Until just
really?
now.
Okay,
Yes.
me either. I didn't know that.
All right. Next question. In 2004, allegations of fraud against Viktor Yanukovych, the purported winner of a presidential election, led to the Orange Revolution in what country? And I'll give you a hint. It's a country in Europe. And it's a country that is very much in turmoil right now.
Ukraine? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Okay.
All right. David Palmer successfully won a presidential election after Jack Bauer foiled an assassination attempt on him during his campaign in what Fox drama series?
24. I like that show.
Okay. No, it's a great show.
It is.
Let's see here. Next question. All right. Since 1965, residents of Gambia have been casting their votes for president by dropping a small object into a drum. What is the name of the tiny glass globes they use instead of paper ballots?
Marbles? Yeah, I actually read that somewhere. That's one piece of useless trivia that I've been able to hang on to.
There you go. All right, next question. Let's see here. Days after the assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who continued to lead his party after stepping down, the Liberal Democratic Party was victorious in July 2022 elections in what country?
Japan? Yeah. Okay.
There you go. All right, next question. In 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump fired what then head of the FBI. One of the reasons Trump gave was this director's handling of the investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails during the 2016 election.
Okay, was that Comey?
James Comey, you're right.
Wow, my brain hurts this morning, but I am kind of proud of myself.
You're doing it. You got it. All right, next question. Let's see here. Okay. The election of 1912 was the first one to feature the 48 contiguous states, thanks to Arizona and New Mexico joining the Union prior to the election. Both of those states went to which eventual winner? This is 1912.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to think about. Hold on just a second. Oh, gosh. I'm going to take a stab at it. And, if my nephew was listening, he would just get so mad at me if I got this wrong.
Okay.
Would it be Garfield?
No, but that's a good guess. Woodrow Wilson.
Okay. All right.
That was, by the time, remember, he was the president during World War I, 1914 to 18.
Yes, okay.
So there you go. Okay.
Bob Carricker is going to be so disappointed.
All right, next question. Let's see here. Exploding cigars, pianos, and watermelons are some of the unorthodox tactics used in a cartoon pitting Yosemite Sam in a mayoral race against what wascal?
Wabbit. Bugs Bunny?
There you go.
It could have been Elmer Fudd. That was kind of that was one of those Jeopardy things where, could have gone either way.
All right, next question. The 2008 presidential election featured the major party tickets of Obama, Biden, and McCain-Palin. It also featured a few independent candidates, including which man and which consumer advocate, one person, who ran for president in 96, 2000, and 2004 under the Green and Reform Party lines.
Is that going to be Bernie Sanders?
That's a good guess, but no.
Okay.
This was before the rise, before he became really popular.
Ross Perot? No, he
No.
was more conservative.
Well, and Ross Perot was a little bit, he was on the other side of that before that.
Okay, so I don't know.
Ralph Nader.
Oh, wow. Talk about, I would never have guessed
Oh,
that.
really?
But that's-
Okay, yeah.
No, would not have guessed that.
See-
But that's okay. You can trip me up.
No, see, Ralph Nader was a name that I became familiar with because it was, sorry for people that voted for him, but it was annoying.
Yeah.
'Cause he had no chance.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Like a throwaway vote.
Exactly. All right. Let's see here. Next question. Let's see here. Named after a 1950s blues song by Muddy Waters and a 1965 Bob Dylan hit, what magazine's list of the 100 greatest artists of all time includes these top 3 select? Why is this in list? I'm going to cry. I'm gonna get
that
going
was
out.
confusing.
I don't know why that's listed in an election question. Okay, never mind. Okay. All right, here we go. Next question. What Democrat president won the 1964 election by a massive 486 to 52 electoral vote margin in the last election where the western states of Idaho, North Dakota, Utah, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma voted Democrat? So what Democrat president won the 1964 election by such a massive electoral vote margin?
Would that have been Lyndon B. Johnson? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That
Because he
is
finished
correct.
the term of Kennedy and then, yeah. Okay.
So you got them all right except one?
Ralph Nader, boy.
Ralph
Talk about a
Nader.
blast from the past.
And not a fun blast either.
Want to remind you guys to go to our app and upload your Light Up Acadiana pictures.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that's going to do it for us. Moon Griffon is up next.
Keep smiling and have a great day, and God bless.
Save money on your printing needs. Call Cartridge World today and ask about their no-cost printer program, too. Cartridge World, 337-984-9000, cartridgeworldusa.com.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Gifting Grace Project, Hope for Homeless Children, is looking for assistance to provide gifts for school children whose parents or guardians are considered homeless. You can donate money or toys. Please help children this holiday season by going to giftinggraceproject.com for all the details. The 13th annual Professional Career Reception is set for Wednesday, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton on Pinhook Road in Lafayette. The event is hosted by the Lafayette Economic Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, UL Lafayette, and other organizations. You can get the complete list of all the employers that will be at the job fair by calling 337-482-1444. See you at the Hilton in Lafayette, November 29th, 4 to 6 p.m.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It is Cyber Monday, the day to find deals online. It's expected to come in with around $12 billion in spending, up 5.4% from a year ago. Foot Locker shares are down 4.5%. Analysts at Citi are advising investors to sell Foot Locker shares. They believe Foot Locker still has too much unsold inventory, which is forcing it to cut prices. Bye Bye Baby is making a comeback with physical stores selling cribs and car seats. The chain's being revived after going bankrupt along with its former parent company Bed Bath & Beyond. The new owners plan to open 100 stores in the U.S. in the next 3 years and want to expand internationally. The chain plans to offer staff expertise as well as exclusive products. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's Jesse Kelly Gold.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Bro Bridge, Lafayette. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios. Online at MatthewJames.com.
For Israeli hostages. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hamas expected to release them soon. The last group on the last day of a ceasefire. Alana Zajcik's already had 2 cousins set free, but tells Fox 4 more are still held captive.
My cousin, her husband, and their 3-year-old twins. And so we are very anxiously awaiting news about them.
An American-Israeli girl among those released yesterday.
4-year-old Abigail Idan, the 4-year-old orphan who was with her parents when they were killed. Now, among the others released yesterday, the 9 children, 6 of those other kids had at least one parent that was killed.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan in Israel, which is planning to release 33 more Palestinian prisoners. There is talk of extending the pause in fighting. Israeli government spokesman Ilan Levy says,
"We want to see the second stage of that agreement go into place to the extent that Hamas is interested to release more hostages." I've seen the reports that Hamas says that it can't locate all of them. That is, of course, horrific.
President Biden wants the truce to last longer to get more humanitarian aid into Gaza. The U.S. has been targeted again in the Middle East. A warship, the USS Mason, targeted while stopping the hijacking of a ship.
U.S. officials tell us 2 missiles were then fired from a part of nearby Yemen controlled by the Iran-backed Houthi militia. They landed in the sea about 11 miles from the Mason.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Later this hour, a Burlington, Vermont man, Jason Eaton, goes to court facing charges in a Saturday night shooting that left 3 men of Palestinian descent wounded.
The nation's largest Muslim civil rights organization is calling on state and federal law enforcement to look into a potential bias motive. 2 of them were wearing traditional Palestinian scarves called keffiyehs when the suspect confronted them.
Fox's Molly Linus back to school this morning for kids in Portland, Oregon. They haven't been in class since Halloween because of a teacher strike that ended with a tentative contract last night. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, Christmas will be here before we know it. If you're looking for a really special gift, I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our great friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, you start by going to their website, henryusa.com, order their free holiday gift guide, and they'll mail it with free decals that you can use for stocking stuffers. Perfect timing. Folks, when you give someone a Henry, you're giving them a work of art that is built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen as a collector. Now, their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate, all of them, right out of the box. They shoot smooth and straight, and they have been reliable ever since. They have over 200 models of rifles and shotguns and revolvers to choose from. One of the things I like the most about these firearms, they're family heirlooms. They'll always be backed by the company's lifetime warranty. So if you want to put something that's made in America under the tree this Christmas, henryusa.com. Get their free gift guide and their decals today. That's henryusa.com.
The Joe Cunningham Show has a new start time. That's right. Hey, everybody, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and I want you to join me every weekday at 5 p.m. here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. All of the news and analysis that's important to you right here in Acadiana, be it local, state, or national, going to have that for you during your evening drive every day from 5 to 6 p.m. The Joe Cunningham Show right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.